10 podcast. You got your boy Travioli coming at you trying something new. Got three people on the stream today. We got Show Me, we got CJ in the studio,
What's
and we got
up?
Mr. Troy with Permanent Farms. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Everybody getting their light on,
Yeah.
sparking up.
You gotta get ready.
So, today we come to you January 19th, 2025. It's fucking nuts.
Yep.
First month is already gone. Man.
Right.
It is
Already
in
gone.
Missouri.
And
So
it's
January-
colder than a witch's tit in a brass brawl today, and it's terrible. It's awful. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I'm over it. I know I'm officially old because I hate it,
It is sad.
but it is
How's
so
the weather
cold.
up there, Troy?
Oh yeah, I just moved from Seattle, man, to central Illinois and Seattle. I mean, if it gets down to 30 degrees, we're freaking out. Right now, it's negative
Right.
7 out. I've never experienced anything like that before in my life, dude. I know what true cold is now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a climate change.
Oh my goodness, yeah, dude. Yeah.
My brother's up in Medford, Oregon, and yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes he'll call me and be like, "Oh, it's 68. It's pretty nice." And then some days he'll call me and be like complaining, and like you said, it's like 40 or something. I'm like, "It's not the same. Not the same."
Yeah, you got microclimates over there, man. It can change. Yeah, the ocean right there. Yeah.
But it's nice you can go to the redwoods, man. That whole vibe over there is something sick. If it didn't take so long to get over there, I would love to take like everybody at least one time. I would
So
definitely recommend.
you're from the St. Louis area, I hear.
Yeah, I am. We are about 40 minutes south of St. Louis, so
Okay.
we're in a place called
Good.
Farmington, Farmtown.
Nice. Hell yeah. Are you guys going to be at the Kansas City Cannaverse this April 19th? Not far from
Possibly.
you.
So we just actually are starting to go to our first one. We are going to the one at Lake of the Ozarks, and that's on.
February 8th, Cannaverse
Yes.
at the Lake of the Ozarks Resort on
Okay.
Bagnell Dam Road down there. So
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We got a room down there for 2 nights. So what we did is, I've been in the industry for 5 years now, and it's a fucked up road, man. And you know, all even up there where you were the start of, you've seen how the roads went. It's just hard to keep in contact with people too, because the industry's so rough. So what we're doing is I got a bunch of bud tenders that I worked with, some of the people I work in the testing lab facility. We're all getting together and we're going down to there and we're getting rooms and we're going to enjoy some cannabis, meet some new
Hell
vendors,
yeah.
spread the word about your content that we are actually up in for nomination. Like, try to spread the word on that.
Yes,
I figured it'd be great. It's like February 7th and 8th. So we're going to be down there right the first week of it, you releasing the voting.
What state's that in?
It's in Missouri.
Oh, in Missouri. Okay.
yeah, down by the Ozarks, Lake of the Ozarks. So like our big,
Okay.
you
I
know,
thought you were talking about
our
another.
one of our huge tourist attractions here in Missouri would be all that down there on the lake. So,
Okay.
yeah.
But no, I haven't been to the Kansas City area that much. We drive through there for clientels, but with work, but I don't get to hang out much with business.
I used to live in Kansas City, so that ought to be a pretty fun event to go to. There's a lot of good places
Try
out
to
there.
make it out if you can. That'd be killer. We're going to be out there. Actually, we're going to be at the Kansas City Cannaverse. We're going to be broadcasting live from the main stage for the Cannaverse Content Creators Awards Show. Yeah,
That is
so-
Okay, cool.
awesome.
Yeah, so that'd be
Hell
kind of
yeah.
cool. I guess there's going to be quite a few people there, so there's actually there's going to be some nominees there, so that'd be really cool if one of those guys got to win, and be accepted in person. So, yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would.
But
That's
yeah,
what
it
we
should be a
want to
fun
do. Like, we
event.
didn't get a booth to set up at the Cannaverse down there, but we figured we go around, spread the word, drop cards off, try to pick up some
Absolutely.
followers, meet some people, spread
Yeah, yep.
spread
Rub
the
some
word
shoulders.
of the Cannaverse
Yep,
Social
yep.
Media Content Creators Award Show.
That's right.
Hit up those after parties.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta hit the after parties.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
this gentleman right here that's been married for 18 years is excited about, is going down there and actually just like letting loose for a long time, because being in the industry, it has been rough. And I worked in a dispensary for 4 years. They let me go. It broke my heart. It was just unforeseen things that happened, and it's going to be nice to actually just go and relax and like celebrate cannabis and just talk about it and just not be so worried.
As we
Right.
Smoke out and
Right.
hang out with some like-minded individuals.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Test some
Very
new
cool, man.
flower. Like, see it. People focus on their grows so much. Like, Show Me Green. Like, it's an honor to smoke when he brings something, because you can taste the you can taste it. You can feel it.
You could taste the love
It's
that he
just
puts
amazing.
into it.
Like when someone grows with love.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, a
absolutely.
little word for you, pat on the back. But you have some amazing growth going too, Troy. Since we met you with this Cannaverse, I've followed some of your pictures, and damn, dude, you got some hella content.
Yeah, boy, I just got done with a test grow a little while ago. I did some Nancy's Owns Auto and Dream Beans, and then I ran a couple from a Devil Dog and STL. Elevated STL. I'm sure you guys have heard of them, right? They're
definitely.
local there. Man, their snub nose came back amazing, dude.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
looking at that strain.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's purple and red and green, and yeah, it just, I, but yeah, it was interesting. We ran 4 photos and we ran 4 autos, and the day basically the day the photos went into flower, I popped my auto beans, and the autos finished before the photos did. But yeah, on the average, so the photos came back at 6.5 ounces, 5.5, and 2 5-ounce plants.
Damn.
Yeah, the Nancy's Own, the Nancy's Owns plant. So we had 2 Nancy's Owns. They came back at, one was 12.5 ounces and one was 11.5 ounces.
Wow.
And then the Dream Beans was almost 13 ounces. So yeah, it was amazing how you can start them halfway through the other one and they finish before and produce twice as much even. Yeah. So it was an interesting.
It's gonna be nice to be able to
test.
see a contrast and comparison between the two also. As
Yeah,
far as
absolutely.
the auto and photo. That's what I would be really into.
So those autos,
Yeah.
they were 12 light schedule the whole time.
No. So the photos were in the tent on 12 and 12, and yeah, I got I got an. I don't know if you can see it, kind of. He's sitting. I got one in the net right now, but yeah, the open room area here with the 700. But yeah, it ran 24 hours a day, 102 days, and boy, yeah, they came back very nice. We're going to be doing getting testing done on them pretty soon, and then shipping out samples. We have an independent board of reviewers that'll smoke them up and write some, give some positive, or give us feedback. So it's not coming from the grower, it's not coming from the breeders. It can come straight from the consumers itself.
Yeah,
Nice,
that's great.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it'll be
yeah.
fun. I dig
So,
your
I'm
Reefer
just
Madness
curious.
poster, dude. That's badass. Sorry.
Oh no, you're.
I was just curious.
I've been having a lot of people ask me, what would you recommend when you start growing autoflowers or photo periods? What's your opinion?
Well, it's honestly photo. I would probably start with photos because autoflowers can be pretty tricky. Honestly, if you don't get them right, they'll trigger too soon and flower too early. And if you think you're going to get in there and train them and touch your plants at all, you're going to mess them up. Autos, I did no training whatsoever. I didn't defoliate. I didn't low stress train. I didn't do anything. And they still produce 13 ounces, 12 ounces. So,
Yeah.
but. So it's really hard to say. I mean, autos are great. You fire them off in a bedroom somewhere, or whatever, while you're setting your tent up or whatever. They're great for that in between crops and stuff. But photos are a little more forgiving, I think. You can do some training on them, and I think if you start with photos and get the idea, the general idea of growing, then you can switch over to autos maybe. And it's easy, but unless you know kind of how to do autos themselves, they can be problematic. Probably.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
That's exactly what I was
telling the people that were asking me. When I
I would
started,
start with
started
feminized as well, almost too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just you don't have to worry about sexing and learning how to see what that. Yeah.
Waste of time, waste of money.
that's
what
what
I was telling them. I told them, like,
if
if you get where you're proficient with autoflowers, you can grow almost any photo period.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna learn the deficiencies and the problems that are gonna pop out a lot faster with autos than they will with photos.
So
it kind of depends on if you're the type of person who likes to get thrown into the fire, and then you learn from that.
Then,
Yeah,
Then,
that's-
okay, start with autos. But otherwise, start with feminized photos. That way you can really start learning the plant.
Yeah, and when to water, when there's a decent dry back. There's a lot more to it.
Exactly.
Than just, make sure there's no light leaks and keep the environment in control, and stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, definitely. And then nutrients, boy, that's a whole nother thing. Boy, that's what that seems like a lot of new growers get mixed, confused and mixed up with what to use, how to use it, when to use it, and stuff. So
What
boy,
you
I
do
must
mix together,
all
what you
fall
do.
for here. So
A
I
lot
find
of
it,
trial and
especially.
error can happen in that stages.
Yeah.
Are you a cocoa grower or a soil?
Complete organic
Complete organic
living soil
and
bed.
soil bed.
Living
or
soil
boxes.
or beds, earth boxes, excellent. Yeah, my good buddy Native dude, he's a. I just met him. He's a new breeder coming up, and he's into these those earth boxes too. And man, they produce some.
They do.
Yeah.
They make it so
easy.
They really
Yeah,
do.
they
I-
do. Load it up with everying it needs, and water it out. So I'm gonna try that someday. Boy, when I first started off, we were doing I was a cloner. They used to call me the cloner or whatever. We used to donate clones to the dispensaries for medical patients and stuff like that. So you have to worry about having mother rooms and feeding babies and everything else. So I went with Canna nutrients or whatever and just kept it real easy. I was in an apartment as well, so I wasn't trying to mix soils and blends, in my living room. But yeah. It started off pretty interesting. Yeah, it was pretty wild back in Washington in the medical days, right when recreational opened up.
It does.
The recreational farmers were having troubles getting genetics because of what the state wanted from the breeders. The breeders were like, I'm not giving you that kind of information to turn over to the state. So the state turned their back for 15 days and gave them a 15-day window to acquire genetics. So yeah, we were selling thousands of clones. When I got raided, I had a 2-bedroom apartment. I got raided and I had over just about 10,000 clones in my apartment when they raided me. But they didn't arrest me. Yeah, they came in, they looked at the mothers, they asked if I was working with 502, and I said, oh yeah, it's all medical or it's 502. So they said, get your plant counts down, and they left. But so those are they're looking for blasting people that were making BHO and stuff like that. But it was a pretty scary experience. I was living in the dining room, and the rest of the apartment, both bedrooms were, the grow room.
Just spinning.
But,
that electric meter just is spinning.
oh boy! I tell you about electricity, man. I was in a grow room in Tacoma where the electricity bill was $250 an hour.
An hour.
An hour.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can't believe
I
that.
didn't even think about that aspect.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the
So
brick and mortar buildings, $80,000 a month. That shit adds up real quick.
Oh
Yeah, it puts people under. A lot of people, I've seen it.
Yeah.
So
And
as
then
far as the Cannaverse social media content, how this come about? Like when I remember the first time I came across it, I was like, this seems so interesting.
Well, I've always been a grower and stuff, and then I was working more with the dispensaries and the patients, and then I moved to Illinois because my mother needed a live-in caregiver. She was getting older, so I moved out here and sold the farm in Washington, came out here, and started up my personal medical grow again. And I said, well, let's fire up permanent farms again. So I fired it up, and I was getting a couple of sponsors, and doing some stuff like that and doing the test grow. And, about 6 o'clock in the morning when you haven't slept all night because you've been working in your garden, and then you're shooting film, and then you're editing it, and then you got to post it and tag it, and you're doing it all by yourself. There's no budget, no crew. And I'm thinking, man, some of these videos and content some of these guys are putting out there, it's almost like Hollywood quality. And they have an entire crew and a huge budget, and they have an award shows. They have all sorts of award shows, and
Right.
The breeders got reward shows, the growers get award shows, but the people that are doing the advertising and the advocacy and any kind of producing content, there they are. We cover just about if you're discussing cannabis and sharing it on the internet, you're a content creator. So it's time to give them some recognition.
This is a sign too. Like since this is available now, like Show Me Green, it opens his eyes too on many different other categories that he'd be into if he would have known this was happening. So now to look forward for 2025, like this opens
and then next year's
eyes on
award
other
show,
Right.
and we're hoping it kind of helps people pick up their game a little bit. You know what I mean? And let's get some people producing some really. I was gonna say, I saw a video on YouTube a guy did, and I swear to God, it was 1 minute and 2 seconds. It took the guy a year to shoot it. But he would do these special effects and stuff, and I know that he edited it for 100 hours for a minute video, and it was awesome video.
So that passion, you gotta have
and the amount of time and effort that he spent on that, and for some likes, it's time to bring them up on stage, and say thank you, So, yeah, I think it'd be really cool to show. And like I said, we've got from everything from comedians to storytellers, growers, photography,
The music,
podcast.
man. I'm a huge
You guys
fan
are
of the
nominated
Mendo
for a
Dope.
podcast award, so congratulations
Yeah,
to
we
you
got
guys.
10,
Thank you.
Yeah.
12 and 14. Best cannabis podcast and best new cannabis content
New content creators,
Like you
good,
said,
absolutely. Killer.
it's just you're right though. You're doing it on your own, and like I'm not a digital dude.
My dad's was a weed man. Whenever he passed away in the industry,
Hey, Elvis, can't hear you anymore.
Yeah, as I said, one guy got real quiet. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I might have been talking over him.
No, like your mic's like shut off or something.
It's not on.
Oh, it's lit up like it is.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Now
there
I
we
hear
go.
you.
Now I hear you.
Well,
Okay.
sir, you're going to record this. Do you edit it later? Since it's not, I'm usually used to
Yeah.
podcasts. Okay, good
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Or we play through, and then I'll go through and edit it and put it on YouTube.
Good deal. Good deal.
So, but yeah, it's cool that the
The
Mendo Dope is one of my hugest bands that I've recently come across. I know they've been around for a minute, but I just stumbled upon them, and I love them. I seen they're actually in some of your runnings.
Yep, from Pacific Northwest. Yeah, and Dab Stars is in there. I mean, we've got some real big guys, and then we've got some smaller. So it's
Gotta start
all
somewhere.
community. It's all cannabis community choice awards. There's no outstanding sponsors or any corporate sponsors or anything like that. We're doing it all on our own. Any sponsorship money that we get will be going towards the production value and streaming the event live and everything. So, yeah, we're not looking to make any money out of it. Honestly, we're just trying
Bringing
to
people together.
Yep.
absolutely bring
Bringing
some
people
people
together,
together.
Shed some light.
That's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
Sharing culture,
Yeah.
like you said,
Friendly
it's
competition
changing and growing.
to drive.
It seemed like
everybody
we
to
were
get
all
better.
getting along real good a few years ago when it was illegal and we were all fighting the same battle for legalization, and then legalization came out, and now there seems to be some toxicity going around, in the cannabis community right now, and I was trying to squash that for at least a 3-hour episode one night. Let's get together. I don't care what your differences are, in the past, whatever. Let's just we'll get everybody together and have a fun award show and just pat everybody on the back, and there's going to be talent scouts, I guess you could say, from different corporations and companies watching, to see who these content creators are out there, and they might be interested in speaking with them after the award show as well. So
Yeah.
there's going to be some
the
opportunity
future.
for everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Well, we definitely want to thank you, man. Like I'm really happy that we came upon and got to meet you and got to know Permanent Farms. So pictures are awesome. You guys have really good motive. Like you guys are made me motivated. I'm definitely ready to do this. And I'm looking forward. So like getting people to join, it's fun. It's like getting out there and explaining what it is. And like you said, just letting people know that cannabis is a wonderful thing.
No matter how different we are, the one thing that unites all of us is cannabis. So it's nice to
That's
just
just it.
recognize that.
Yeah. That's the only crowd you'll see, from the 80-year-old motorcycle guy to the, that's when you can see Willie Nelson sitting down with Snoop Dogg. It brings everybody together.
Hell
Like I
yeah,
said,
hell
out in
yeah.
Seattle, they had a Hemp Fest for 25 years. They would have Hemp Fest, a 3-day event on the Seattle waterfront, 250,000 people a weekend. For 25 years, they had one fight after 25 years, and it was somebody that was drunk.
Right.
The police were there handing out Doritos to us.
My friend has a
Yeah.
music venue, and we had Afro Man come, and it was huge. It was so many people, and in our little town, it's not common for a group. You see 50 people, you're like, what the hell? There was like 200 or 300 people, and it was huge. People weren't sitting out in the yards on blankets, and in Missouri, that ain't something people do. And whenever
That's
the
killer,
event was
though.
done,
Yeah.
there wasn't a piece of trash anywhere.
No.
Yeah,
There was
and
no
they're
fights,
very,
like you said.
and they even clean up the park afterwards and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
and most of them are very respectful, So that's another
100%.
thing. I know in Washington when they were handing out licenses for recreational shops and stuff, there was a couple of towns. A mayor got a hold of he was actually selected in a raffle because they had a raffle system. More people wanted them than they had licenses. So Yeah, the mayor bought it, and he's basically restoring his city with the profits he's making. There's free lunches in Washington because of marijuana legalization tax now, and yeah, they're doing a lot of good stuff with it. They're actually drug treatment programs for the hardcore drugs now.
Right.
The drugs they need to be worrying about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've lost 2 friends in 3 years since I've been here in Illinois alone to fentanyl.
Oh man.
So it's just don't worry about marijuana so much.
Yeah.
I won't get into it too much, but we're gonna do another content after this one about some stuff that Show Me Green came upon and read. But I was actually reading a little bit on that MJ Biz, and there was something that they were talking about. I laughed because it said cannabis can lead to fentanyl, and I'm like, I've been smoking since I was 16 years old, heavy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Marijuana could lead to fentanyl, and marijuana can lead to fentanyl when you're buying it from some guy on the street who also sells coke, crack, crank, pills. When you go to a fucking recreational store and try to buy that shit, you know what they're going to do? They're going to lock the door and call the cops. You're going to have to show ID. Marijuana and hard drugs have always been easier to get a hold of as a kid. You don't have to show ID. You don't have to go into a licensed establishment and show ID. You can, you have $40, the guy's going to sell it to whoever. And he's going to say, hey, do you want to try this? So yeah, marijuana can be a gateway drug, but it's because of prohibition and the black market. So absolutely. But I found marijuana, and I knew right as soon as I found marijuana, boy, I knew I didn't need to do any other drugs. It fit like a key, So it was. That's all I needed. I almost died from alcohol poisoning, with the guys growing up in high school, and then I was always against marijuana. You were a drug addict and a piece of shit that killed brain cells, and all that. I believed all that shit like everybody else. And then I started smoking it, and I was like, it's not doing that. How come Willie Nelson's still alive? How come,
Right.
Chong are the healthiest people? 95 years old and still touring, So the government knows now that they got caught in their bullshit lies. So it's just hard to get them to fess up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the game.
That's not gonna happen.
No.
No. But we got to keep fighting. We got to get along, and until we have legalization in all states, and even Washington and Colorado, one of the first 2 states to legalize. Washington State does not have a home grow.
Wow.
It's like, why?
Really?
Yeah, they have medical. It's a tougher medical system there, and you have to. But see, the thing in Washington too is you can go into a dispensary with $200, get a top shelf ounce and 5 1-gram cartridges. You come here to Illinois. When I first got to Illinois, I drove into the dispensary. A non-resident, non-medical 1-gram cartridge was $151.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I couldn't fucking believe it. You drive 2.5 hours for 2 days worth of weed. No. Right. That's exactly when I fired up the farm again. But
I got a friend up in Michigan, and he's going to be on next week. But Michigan runs $100 for 10 carts.
Yeah.
10 1-gram carts.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a fan.
People
of
from Illinois drive up there. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, and that's the thing about the way they're doing it in Illinois. They're not discouraging the black market at all.
At all.
So that's what kind of disappointed me. Their greed is contributing to the black market or the gray market. I don't like to call it the black market. The gray market, illicit market. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. More states are starting to see people. States aren't burning down and because there's legal marijuana there. So we've crossed the halfway mark now, and I believe in the next 2 years, I think there's 12 more states that are up for legalization. So, there's going to be certain states that will never do it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But they're going to miss out on the taxes. Illinois rewrote their state constitution to make sure marijuana would never be legal in Idaho.
Wow.
Yeah. When we legalized, their governor contacted us and said, we're going to treat the Idaho-Washington border like the Mexican border. Because they think their guys were going to come into Washington and get it. So yeah, it's just... But even with alcohol, there's dry counties, so...
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Well, Troy, we love what you're doing. We appreciate it.
I was going to say, official voting for the Cannaverse is going to open up on February 1st. It's going to be on a third-party website, so I'll be sharing the link to that. You sign into there. And just click there'll be all the names listed under every category, and submit, and then it'll actually send you an email confirmation with who you voted for and everything. So, and then it keeps track of it for us. And
Amazing.
so it's going to be a lot smoother now once we get the voting going. So,
Well, don't think your hard efforts isn't unnoticed, because it is, man. And like I said, we thank you, and if we do, 100 other people do too.
Yeah.
oh yes, no, there's been 98% positive feedback, so I could not be happier with
Amazing.
what we're hearing back from it.
That's because
there's
it's
been a
cannabis, I
couple,
tell
but
you, man.
yeah, you can't please everybody, dude. So we're
Right.
No.
yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, Troy. It was an
My
honor,
pleasure,
and,
guys. Thank you,
look forward to
Travis.
hearing back from you, man.
Yes,
care.
stay in touch.
Nice meeting you.
Okay. All right, guys.
Yes,
Thanks
yes,
so much.
have a
Show me
good
green.
one.
All right, guys.